Hello, hello. This is Lori Girl on the Ridge. I am back with number 2, Miss Sunday of my homespun journal of the 3 women that went out west. And this satchel they have the same quilt I use, but it's just different ways and different embellishments. So this one's a little bigger. This is 13 inches instead of 12. So this has been spoken for. So I will go through what's in here. This is the letter Miss Sunday had received. It's got the seal on it that I just taped on it so you can use it. And this was the same wanted bulletin thing that Miss Jane got, people to populate the town of Timbertown. The only thing is, and she had told Jane, she lied. She can't bake and she can't sew. Worth a spit was her words. So Sunday she was one of 7 girls. She was the only one that wasn't really girly in her family. This is her key. She always helped her papa, worked on buildings and helped with the horses. And she had long, blonde, curly, unruly hair, as her grandma called it. And this is her stagecoach ticket and the stagecoach that picked her up. So she was very boisterous. When Sunday came in the room, you heard her. She had a loud, boisterous laugh, and she just was contagious. So the journal is, again, there's a little pink purse there. Very homespun, I call it. That's what I think of. Patchwork, old, new, paper, little receipts, a little of everything. Pink seam binding to close it. I got some raggeties in there that I love from Nick the Booksmith. So as Miss Sunday was getting ready to leave, she wanted to help her mama and papa. Her mama gave her some words of wisdom of what never to do. And she had said, never, never engage in a boisterous laughter. You must show a little smile or titter, which is tee-hee-hee. And Sunday said, oh, Ma, if I have to do that, I'm going to look like a ninny. So she wasn't too happy about that. And there's some other things. If you're smarter than the man, you just have to hold your tongue and for ignorance. And there's some more. You could kind of pause it and read it. But never, never show affection in public. Love may be blind, but the townspeople aren't. And we know how the townspeople can talk. So, and then she also told her, here's some things that if a man doesn't do these, if he does do these, walk away. And that's sitting at a table, if he doesn't stand up when you get up, and if he's at the table, he shouldn't wipe his nose, scratch himself when eating, gulp food down, chew tobacco. It was funny. I was looking for all these slangs. You'll find I have a lot of Western slangs in here. I had a Western party once, and I gave the girls one of the sheets and the guys the other one. So I had all this stuff in the folder. So I pulled it out. So those are words of wisdom from her ma. These are some of her sisters. So we know she can't cook or sew. So she told Miss Jane what she could do, and she told her just tell TC when you go in for your interview. So when she got off the stage, there'd be, boy, the women sure is purty, and she would just belt out, I swear that man is a flannel-mouthed liar. And flannel-mouth means smooth talking. So she would just say what she feels. And just Jane would just kind of hide behind her little fan. So when she goes in, TC interviews her, asks her if she can cook or sew. She says, no, sir, but I can take this hammer. And she took a board and one hip and put the hammer and the nail through the board with one hit because she was used to putting shingles on the buildings. And she said, I could do any shingle better than any man in this town. And the correct saying was, I ain't no shaved tail, and I'll never throw up the sponge. It means I'm not an inexperienced person, and I never quit. So that's the slang for that. So TC laughed, and in the background was his brother Colin, who was just taken with her her zest for life, I guess. And then when TC asked her if she could do the books for the mercantile, and she would say, yep, that's like licking butter off a knife, and that's easy. So she was very, very unladylike, but very funny. So she was going to work in the mercantile. She was a little nervous of organizing it. So we're going to stop right here. And I made, well, Miss Jane. This is a little accordion booklet, and I got this from Angie Bunner. She did a Happy Mail a year or two ago to Practice Makes Pretty. Practice Makes Pretty. Sure is pretty. Oh God. Denise's shop, and so I wanted to do one of them. So this is back to character. This is what Jane made for Sunday to help her keep organized. So this is the mercantile stuff that she should order, hats and different things that the people would need. And then this was for the school, so she had primers. So I made these little booklets, primer booklets. And there's actually some real primer paper in there, 1908. And then this was sewing section and boots for the ladies and hats in a little bag. And a tattered, kind of just a tag. And this is the sewing with different samples of the material. Of course, we have food, and there's tags in there. And then you have the seeds and stuff. So this was a little file folder that Miss Jane made for her. So back to the story. And so she also had help from Uncle Jake. He would help her, and he'd get going at, you got to buy this, and you got to buy whiskey. And she would just tell him to quit your yammering. And then they'd have a laugh, and they'd get back to work. And Sunday was more excited than Jane when she could actually see the buildings going up, and she could help. And these are just some skedaddle, scuttlebutt, throw up the sponge of some words. And then she seen Colin, who was her tall, handsome cowboy that she knew she was going to marry someday. And those are her nails. Every time she got mad, she would pound a nail in somewhere. So there's nails throughout here. And this is a raggedy page from Nick the Booksmith. A little writing in there. These are so pretty. And then she got all flustered when the women kept asking to order these, and she didn't know what they were, so she came to Miss Jane. Now Jane is planning her wedding to TC. And Janie, what are these things? And so Jane had to explain to her of the corsets, and she was just like, oh my goodness. So she had to order them. And then she, with the help of Uncle Jake, she ordered cigars. So these are actually cigar reproduction stickers. I mean, little cigar boxes. And then there's paper. And then there's the bakery stuff. But some of the women that were still in the bunkhouse would come and whining. And she would say, stop barking at a knot. And it just means you do something useless, wasting your time. Go find something to do. So she was always coming out with those little sayings. And there's just some paper there. And then she seen Colin, a stage pulled up with this beautiful young woman. And it was an old acquaintance of Colin. And Colin was trying to make her a little jealous, but it kind of went overboard. And she was a lot jealous. This is another little book her mama had sent her that she could put things in. And so then she was thinking, then she'd go over to poor Jane's and plop down. And when she wasn't laughing and smiling, Jane knew something was up. There's a pocket in there. So she tried to convince, she knew Colin had loved her. And just some there. And there's old Uncle Jake and the solicitor that's helping her set up the mercantile. So she would get really, when she kept seeing that woman, she just kind of, she's a bad egg. Which she was just trying to take Colin away. She was. And then she would hear her grandma every time poor Sunday would get in trouble. She would say, "Oh, Grandma, I got this stuck. I'm hotter than a burning stump." And Grandma would say, "Hobble your mouth, child. He's just spitting out words to see where they'll splatter." So she tried to calm herself with her grandmother's words, and these are her grandmother's little bits and pieces that she would always have in her, tucked in her skirt. And so we know Colin just, after a while, Colin knew what Patricia was up to, trying to get Sunday to think that there was more between them than there actually was. So that wasn't working out. So finally, Sunday cornered Colin, and he's leaning up against the building, and she whacked a nail right above his head and demanded to know what was going on. And then he kissed her, and we know the rest. And they fell in love, so there'll probably be 2 weddings. And then you got her, Polly and Cole will be next. And this is all just more stuff. And then when they got to the ranch, Miss Sunday was the first one to be able to hang the shingle, a cowboy ranch, above the fence going into it. So, and then she had a little book. Saddle up. These are going to be for all the little ones that they're going to have. So that is Miss Sunday and Colin and all the extra little goodies. So I hope you enjoyed that. I will be back. Well, I have a design team project coming up, and then I have Miss Polly and Cole next. Thanks for watching, and if anybody wants a tutorial on how I made these, they're really easy. Just leave a comment below, and I will get to that. So have a nice day. We'll see you soon. Bye.